Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. I am Mr. Zainal Abidin Sayadi, your instructor for the English for Technical Communication course here at the Center for Language Studies, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. Today, we will be continuing our discussion on a crucial aspect of communication, both oral and written, persuasive strategies. As we discussed previously, a persuasive presentation features a speaker who tries to influence an audience to accept certain positions and engage in actions in support of them. Similarly, persuasive writing is a form of writing where the writer attempts to convince or persuade the audience to adopt a particular point of view or take a specific action by presenting logical reasoning, supporting evidence, and compelling arguments. Remember, in persuasive communication, it is not enough to simply inform. You also have to convince your audience that your way of thinking is best. Now let's revisit the foundational elements of persuasion. Aristotle's three forms of rhetorical proof: ethos, logos, and pathos. Ethos. This relates to the credibility of the speaker. To establish strong ethos, you should aim to appear competent, trustworthy, and dynamic. For example, when discussing the importance of clear technical documentation, I might share my experience of working on projects where ambiguous manuals led to significant errors and delays. Furthermore, citing credible sources, such as IEE standards for technical writing, demonstrates competence. Using appropriate language and grammar throughout this lecture also contributes to your perception of my credibility. Even appearing engaged with the topic through enthusiastic delivery can enhance my ethos. Logos. This focuses on the reasoning and logic of an argument. When arguing for the adoption of a specific software testing methodology, I would present factual, objective information, such as data showing a reduction in bugs and improved efficiency in companies that have implemented this methodology. Providing relevant examples like detailing a case study where the methodology successfully identified critical flaws before product launch strengthens the logos of the argument. We might also derive conclusions from known information. For instance, if studies show that using diagrams improves user understanding by 30%, we can logically conclude that incorporating more visuals in technical manuals will likely lead to better comprehension. Using credible supporting material like expert testimony from a renowned software engineer or statistics on the cost of software defects further bolsters the logical appeal. Pathos. This relates to the arousal of emotion through speech. Imagine I am trying to persuade you of the importance of workplace safety in a technical environment. I might use vivid language to paint word pictures of potential hazards and their consequences. Sharing a lay testimony, perhaps a story of a former student who experienced an accident due to inadequate safety protocols, can evoke empathy and concern. Using figurative language like comparing a complex system without proper documentation to a ship lost at sea can create a stronger emotional connection. My vocal variety, for example, speaking with more urgency when highlighting safety risks, also contributes to the emotional impact. Moving on to strategies for persuasive presentations. 1. Understand your audience. If I am presenting on writing effective user manuals to a group of software developers, my approach will differ from presenting to a group of marketing professionals. I would focus on technical accuracy and user-centered design for the developers, while for marketers, I might emphasize how a good manual enhances customer satisfaction and product value. 2. Clearly define your purpose. Are you trying to convince your audience to adopt a new documentation style, to allocate more resources for technical writing, or to simply understand the importance of clear communication? 3. Start with a strong hook. Instead of just saying, "Today we'll talk about reports," I could start with a compelling statistic about the cost of poor reporting in the industry. 4. Develop a clear structure. A presentation on how to write a problem statement should logically progress from defining the problem to explaining its significance, to outlining the steps involved in crafting a strong problem statement. 5. Provide strong evidence. When advocating for a particular technical solution in a project proposal, backing your claims with data, research findings, and pilot project results is crucial. 6. Use emotional appeals. When presenting the need for better accessibility features in software, highlighting how these features can significantly improve the lives of users with disabilities can be a powerful emotional appeal. 7. Engage your audience. Asking rhetorical questions like, "Have you ever struggled to understand a poorly written instruction manual?" can draw your audience in. 8. Keep it simple and clear. Avoid using overly technical jargon when presenting to a non-technical audience. Explain complex concepts in an accessible way. 9. Visual aids and slides. If I'm explaining the different stages of a software development lifecycle, using a clear flowchart can significantly enhance understanding. 10. Practice and rehearse. A well-rehearsed presentation on giving effective feedback will come across as more credible and persuasive. 11. Storytelling. When explaining the importance of collaboration in technical projects, sharing a story about a successful project where strong teamwork was key can be very effective. 12. Call to action. At the end of a presentation on the need for better cybersecurity awareness, a clear call to action would be to encourage everyone to attend the upcoming security training session. 13. Summarize your key points. Briefly reiterate the main takeaways from your presentation on effective email communication in a technical workplace. 14. Handle Q&A gracefully. We'll elaborate on this with examples shortly. 15. Seek feedback. After a presentation on improving technical presentation skills, asking your peers for specific feedback on your delivery and content is essential for growth. Now, let's look at how to handle Q&A sessions effectively. First, prepare for common questions. If I've just presented on a new technical writing tool, I should anticipate questions about its cost, compatibility with existing systems, and the learning curve involved. I would prepare concise answers addressing these points. Second, mock Q&A sessions. Before delivering a presentation on a complex technical topic, I might ask a colleague to play the role of an audience member and ask challenging questions to help me practice my responses. Third, time management. If several people have questions, I would keep my answers concise and avoid getting bogged down in lengthy explanations for a single question. I might politely suggest taking more detailed discussions offline. Next, stay calm and confident. Even if someone asks a critical question about a design flaw in a system I presented, I would strive to remain calm and respond professionally, focusing on finding solutions rather than becoming defensive. Fifth, bridge to key messages. If a question veers off topic, I might say, "That's an interesting point," and it connects with our main message about the importance of considering user needs throughout the development process. Sixth, admitting when you don't know. If someone asks a highly specific technical question that I don't have the immediate answer to, I would say, "That's a very specific question, and I don't have that data at hand right now. However, I'll be happy to look into it and follow up with you via email." Seventh, audience engagement. After answering a question, I might ask, "Does that clarify your concern?" Or, "Are there any further questions on this aspect?" Next, stay respectful and professional. Even if someone's question is phrased aggressively, it's crucial to maintain a respectful and professional demeanor in your response. And lastly, feedback and evaluation. After a Q&A session, I would reflect on the types of questions asked and how effectively I addressed them to improve my future performance. Finally, regarding persuasive writing. 1. Choose wording carefully. Instead of saying, "This software is probably good," a more persuasive statement would be, "This software offers proven reliability and efficiency." 2. Ask questions. In a proposal advocating for a new training program, I might ask, are your employees equipped with the latest technical skills to meet industry demands? 3. Write a clear thesis statement. In a persuasive essay arguing for the importance of technical writers in software development, the thesis statement might be, the clarity and accuracy provided by skilled technical writers are indispensable for the successful development and adoption of software products. 4. Draw a persuasion map. Before writing a report recommending a specific course of action, outlining your main arguments and supporting evidence in a structured map can ensure a logical flow. Next, speak directly to the reader, using phrases like, consider the benefits of, or you will find that, can create a more direct connection with the audience. And lastly, repeat your main arguments. In a lengthy technical document arguing for a change in process, reiterating the key benefits of the proposed change in different sections can reinforce your message. Before we conclude today's session, let's take a moment to recap what we've covered. We began by understanding what persuasive communication is, a strategy used to influence an audience to accept certain ideas or take action. Unlike informative communication, which focuses on presenting facts, persuasive communication aims to convince the audience. Next, we explored Aristotle's 3 rhetorical proofs. Ethos, the credibility of the speaker. We discussed how competence, trustworthiness, and enthusiasm enhance credibility. Logos, the logical reasoning behind an argument. We saw how using facts, statistics, and expert testimony can strengthen persuasion. Pathos, the emotional appeal. We talked about the importance of using storytelling, vivid language, and real-life examples to engage the audience emotionally. We then covered key strategies for persuasive presentations, including knowing your audience, clearly defining your purpose, starting with a strong hook, structuring arguments logically, using evidence effectively, appealing to emotions, and engaging the audience through interaction. Additionally, we discussed how to handle Q&A sessions effectively, staying calm, managing time, and addressing questions professionally. If you don't know an answer, it's okay to acknowledge it and follow up later. Finally, we touched on persuasive writing strategies, emphasizing the importance of clear wording, direct engagement with the reader, and repeating key arguments for reinforcement. In summary, persuasive communication is a powerful tool in technical and professional settings. Whether you're giving a presentation or writing a report, using ethos, logos, and pathos effectively can make your arguments stronger and more compelling. That brings us to the end of today's session. If you have any comments or questions regarding the topic, please write them in the comment section below. Till then, see you again in the next video.